Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
How we doing? Welcome to another fantastic NBA happy hour here on Riverfront U as we're talking all things NBA playoffs. Tim Daniel here as always with Sean Mackey, with Parker Fields. And today we have a very special guest, someone who I have not done a podcast with in way too long. So hopefully it's not the same situation after here. Hopefully she wants to hang out with us again. But former cup writer of the Wolves on Wolves.com, Katie Davidson. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It's awesome to have you back.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. And I'm very happy that the Wolves are in the spot that they're in right now and not the last time we talked. So
True. So last time we talked was the year after the Butler trade. So this is like, I think it was the first year Cat had an injury.
yeah.
Rose had just left. I don't know where he went. One of those teams.
Pistons, I think.
He went, I think is he still with the Knicks? Or
he played for, he technically was
now
on the Memphis roster this year. I wouldn't say he played.
Okay.
Yeah, he was hurt most of the year.
Got it.
Shocking. But yeah, and I think that was kind of like the downfall of like the last playoff run. So yeah, having you on now when things are like this is awesome, and we're really excited to talk about it with you. I do, and we actually like in our Patreon, we have Minnesota fans, funny enough, and a Cincinnati Reds Patreon. So it's kind of cool that we have a lot of that interaction right now going on. And we'll just start at the beginning. All right, like Anthony Edwards is really fun to watch play basketball. Can you talk about what it's like to root for Anthony Edwards as a fan of the team?
I was at a rap concert in February, I think. February, March. And the Danny Brown is who we were seeing, and he goes, Minneapolis, everyone is so jealous of you right now. And we all thought, like, because we were at his concert, and he's like, because you have Anthony Edwards on your team. And like everyone else was just like college kids who didn't follow the NBA, and I'm just like screaming my ass off. And so yeah, he's just so like charismatic too, and just his interviews, I don't know, he's still only 22 years old.
The funny part, he's literally my age. Like I think we forget he's 22. Like this guy should be at frat parties right now.
Yeah.
And like he's in like leading a franchise, maybe, they could make a title run this year. Like this team is good. I think the thing that's impressed me the most in the playoffs from him is the consistency. Because like in the regular season, he would have games where he drops like 8 points, shoots 4 for 20. Like he had some bad games here and there. But in the playoffs, you look, it's been pretty even keel. Like he's performing well pretty much every game. I think there's one game in the Sun series he had like 15, didn't play that great. But outside of that, like he's been very consistent throughout the playoffs. And they just didn't need him in that game. Like they blew out the Suns either way.
And he hasn't been like forcing it, or there've just been moments. And I was listening to the Dane Moore podcast today, and Jace Frederick, who writes for the Pioneer Press in St. Paul, was on, but they were just talking about how he hasn't like pressed or anything like that. But I was thinking back when I heard that of like FIBA, because there was that game where Kerr was like, you gotta like pass, you gotta get your teammates involved. And then Ant was phenomenal as far as like just being the distributor and everything. But yeah, as someone just commented, he gets up for the playoffs, and I'm just so happy that he's having this experience at 22, and that last year he had that experience at 21 too, because I don't know. I look at guys that like LaMelo, who he was compared to when he was drafted, and what his career has amounted to so far. But
2-time play-in player. Literally, that's about it.
I've heard that he's part of a Netflix series that's going to be coming out this summer as well. And I've heard like he's supposed to be like really great on that. He's great on camera. Obviously, we've seen the interviews and everything. We've seen him in Hustle. He was great in Hustle.
Yeah.
I mean, this has got to be just an exciting time for Timberwolves fans. It's just been, disappointing year after disappointing year. I really thought the Butler years were going to get there, but like, how much room is on the bandwagon right now? Can we all still get on?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
all right.
It's been so weird because in the past, like if we're in the national media, it's because we've messed up some huge thing. And so now, like, having national media talk about us, and like Metro tweeted about the Wolves defense during game 2, and like seeing celebrities just talk about the Wolves, it's like, all right, like pump the brakes. This seems like a jinx, but I'm trying to just accept that they're actually like a contender, and this is
live in the moment.
Right.
We can relate to this. When the Bengals made their Super Bowl run a couple years ago, it was like every time they won in the playoffs, you're like, okay, what is going on here? Like, this isn't real, right? And they go and they beat Kansas City in overtime in the AFC Championship. And we're like, holy crap, this is real. This is a thing. So, like, obviously, I think the Wolves were in better shape than the Bengals were at the time they made the Super Bowl. But that's not a slight on the Bengals by any means. It just kind of was like how luck worked out for them. But yeah, it is kind of like fun to see like these young teams, these like Anthony Edwards type of guys, like we said, and just kind of seeing all the things that they're doing, obviously. So they're like cleaning up awards right now. Did you get your Nas Reed tattoo?
I haven't yet, my $20 Nas Reed, but 2 people have sent it to me and been like, when are we going to schedule this? So soon.
At WrestleMania, someone had a Nas Reed sign in the crowd. Just
He's
like
popular.
right in the middle,
like, or just a Nas Reed sign. Okay,
just a full on the edge. It said Nas Reed, and like it was like he got word of it because he tweeted about it. So
I was a huge Nas Reed fan when I was like 12, when he was like a senior in high school. Like, I remember watching his mixtapes and stuff when he was a senior in high school, and he was part of, do you know the Jelly Fam movement? Do you guys know that whole thing? Yeah. He was Big Jelly. Like, I don't think people remember that much. Like, he was a hyped up recruit, and then he didn't have a good freshman year, went undrafted, but like the talent was always there. Like, he was a really hyped up recruit coming out of high school.
LSU, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say though, I'm not gonna lie, I thought the Suns were gonna win. I was like, oh, they went 3-0. I was an idiot. Like, it was bad. The Suns looked horrible.
I said Wolves in 6, and that was like kind of as
that was a hot take.
That
was 100%. Like, compared to like what other people were saying, that was like a hot take at the time. But clearly, everybody else is an idiot.
I think too, I can attest to Parker and I being very passionate fans of LeBron's career. Obviously we're rooting for the Wolves for obvious reasons that their opponents kept him from a chance at another title. But I think that also just kind of, I feel like the Wolves are like, I mean, the Nuggets are like the team where it's like, yeah, we know like they're probably the best team in the league, like on paper in the regular season, but no one's excited about them at all. Like, the Warriors had haters during their dynasty for sure, but everyone's like, yeah, they're fun to watch when they're cooking. There's nothing like that with the Nuggets. People are like, God, I just really get sick of Jamal Murray going 3 for 20 and hitting a game winner. Like,
Tim, I don't know, because some of the worst moments of my life as a sports fan were watching that team in the third quarter. So I don't know if everybody thought they were fun to watch, because I hated it.
I loved the Warriors.
Not with Durant. Oh, I couldn't stand them.
Yeah, Parker, you're just a LeBron stan. That's all that is, man. You just couldn't.
If Kevin bigger the Warriors, LeBron would have like 6-7 titles by now. So it's like,
but he doesn't. But he doesn't.
He would.
Here we go. Well, if Michael Jordan wouldn't have went and played baseball for 2 years,
Nah, they would have lost to the Rockets one of those years.
One of them.
Yeah,
one of them.
That Rockets team that won in '94 was so good. Like, they were incredible.
Trying to repeat 4 times it's just not a thing. You can't
Bill
do
Cartwright would guard Hakeem.
Unless you're the Celtics, and then when you had like 7 other teams in the league, so there was that whole thing.
I did want to say real quick, the people that are saying like the Nuggets championship was a fluke, like the Nuggets dominated last year's playoffs. Like, it's hard. I think the whole Warriors and then the Miami Heat and then like going back to back, like made people like, because the last 10 years it's happened a few times, they think it's easy or something. No, it's not easy. Like, all the time the defending champion loses in the first or second round. Like, people are just like, they overreacted to like a couple dynasties here and there. Like, it's so easy to happen when it's not. It's really not at all.
Yeah, for sure. So, Katie, like, what is Minnesota like right now? Because the Wolves are doing this. The Twins have won 15 of 17.
Yeah.
Like they had that 11-game win streak where they were like, and they score runs. It's not like they win like
Right.
3-1.
They won 11-1 today or something.
Yeah, against Seattle. Like
Vikings just got JJ McCarthy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
If the Wild were relevant, maybe it's the best movie in Sportstown USA right now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been like everyone's really excited for tomorrow, obviously. But the Wolves have never been like the biggest team. Like the Twins and Vikings are definitely bigger, and the Wild are. I don't follow hockey, and I think it's more of a like hockey. Like in Minnesota, hockey people say this is a hockey state, but the Wild have been like pretty irrelevant.
Yeah.
So I don't know. People like have latched on to the Wolves, obviously, because they're the most successful team. But like diehard Wolves fans are diehard Wolves fans. And like tomorrow at Target Center, it's going to be crazy. I won't be there, but like I'm so excited for everyone who's going to be there and get to experience that. So
I think you could make the case of the Lynx over the Wild because they do have multiple WNBA championships. I think Maya Moore was like, had the potential to be the GOAT of WNBA if she didn't retire early. She was so incredible. So yeah, I think it's been better than painted, right?
Yeah. I mean, the Lynx are our most recent championship. And that was 2016, 15. So
it's been a minute.
Yeah, Maya Moore was good.
Yeah.
She was so awesome.
I'm trying to think who's on the Lynx right now. Collier, Natasha Collier, Napisa Collier. Yeah, I think there's a Collier.
Is Sylvia Pohl still there?
No, she retired. Like, this is terrible. I covered the Lynx for The Athletic in 2019 and haven't followed them very religiously since. So,
I think it's kind of been cool. Like, we talk about this quite a bit, but it's been really fun watching WNBA get the popularity it's been getting the last couple of years. Yeah. And so I've had a blast with it. Obviously, the Sabrina Ionescu's, the Caitlin Clarks are kind of bringing a lot of eyes to it. I'm more of a Paige Buchers fan myself. I can't wait till she's in the league next year. But it's been really cool to see. I know, so our closest NBA city is Indianapolis. It's 2 hours. And we were looking, some of our friends have been trying to get Fever tickets because it used to be you could pay $10 for the Fever games courtside. Now $10 doesn't get you in the arena, and which is cool for the sake of the excitement around obviously having Caitlin Clark come to town. But it's just wild to see it was just like that.
I feel like it kind of sucks for people that went to a lot of games already and were fans before it became popular to become a fan. Yeah, no, it's really cool, the attention the WNBA is getting and stuff. I think that a lot of these players are really, really good. And, the people that say that, the WNBA needs to be, 9-foot rims are just idiotic. It's a different brand of basketball. You're not going to see a lot of dunks and stuff. They're not the physical specimens, but it's a very skilled game. It's a very fluent game. It's very, you know what I mean? It's very structured, and, it's great to watch, too.
It's still
I like college better than WNBA though when it comes to women's. I really do. I think it's more entertaining, a little bit.
Where's he?
That might change.
It might change with the new players. Yeah, 100%. I like watching
Katie,
Sabrina though. She's good.
Katie, I have to ask. So a couple years back, the Timberwolves traded for Rudy Gobert, and I mean they traded a lot for him, and last year, it didn't look so great. This year, everything has come together. Are the fans, are they and obviously he won another Defensive Player of the Year award and they're on a roll right now. I know a lot of Wolves fans were saying they paid too much at the time and everything. What's the consensus now at this point? Because now he's got another award. He is the anchor of this team.
We love Rudy now, and anyone who tries to insult Rudy or put Rudy down, we will come for you.
So you guys forgive him for bringing COVID to the NBA.
Yeah. Well, I get that.
He wasn't even mini then. So
Yeah, that
matter.
was pre-Minnesota days.
That was
was in
Utah,
Utah.
Rudy, and like whatever happens in Utah stays in Utah. But
That's right.
True that. No one sees it anyway.
But and like Tim Conley too. Like people were just like, you ruined my life for what he did with that trade. And now we're just like, you are the greatest person who's ever come into this franchise. With the Mike Conley and Nikhil Alexander-Walker trade.
Dude.
But yeah, we love Rudy now. I convinced my parents to name their dog after Rudy Gobert. So.
Whoa. All right. But,
So-
he's had a great year. He's had a great year.
Yeah, he really has. I think like for us, when we talked about the Wolves for the year of why we were concerned, wasn't necessarily Gobert. It was because you had seen in every just about postseason tenure with Utah, like he was being hunted and pick and rolls in those postseason series, and you were kind of like really nervous about that. But I think Chris Finch, I think we just kind of totally underestimated that Chris Finch is a much better coach than Quinn Snyder. And I think that the way he's kind of figured out, like, yeah, dude, you've been hunted in the past, but we're going to make sure like that's not an issue anymore, has been really impressive. You mentioned Nikhil Alexander-Walker, who's been just like such a spark for that team, who was, I wouldn't say was an NBA journeyman, but kind of bounced from team to team since he got drafted and then found a home there. That was the name I definitely would bring up. We talk about Mike Conley, just kind of being that veteran who's been through it all, right? Like those Memphis teams who were just so physical, and then has the short time in Utah before the D'Angelo Russell Giant trade. And then of course, we'll probably spend a lengthy time talking about Cat and just what he's been able to do this year, but just kind of seeing how the rosters come together. And to kind of piggyback off what you said earlier, that's been really impressive is when the Wolves are coming up in conversation, it's finally about what's on the court. It's not about like who's the owner or what player doesn't want to be here anymore or like any of that stuff. It's finally like we're talking about the Wolves and basketball. And I think that's just been so awesome. I'm sure that's just a breath of fresh air for Wolves fans.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because even like I've thought about this too and been like, this is such a change from where we were like when I was a kid or growing up and watching the Wolves. But it's like Chris Finch and Rudy Gobert and Mike Conley have no attachment to like those teams or anything like the curse that we thought we had over us or anything like that. Like, so they've gotten national reporters like just asking them after round one, like, how does it feel to be sweeping a team like this after 20 years? You haven't advanced to the second round in 20 years. And they're just like, we don't think about that. Like, we're not that team. So they're like, as fans, there's still attachment to that. And it's just crazy to see your team going to the second round, which is funny to say, but no, it's just been like crazy to actually believe in a Wolves team, which is bad to say, but like, just how much they've actually been consistent for once.
We get it. Yeah, we're Bengals and Reds fans. We get it 100%.
Yeah.
Like the only successful, consistently team I root for is Kentucky, and even them, they're not so hot the last few years. So, when it comes to Jaden McDaniels, I'm curious, what do you think could his potential be like? Do you think he could end up being, a 17 to 20 point per game scorer in the league, or do you think he's going to cap out at around 12 to 15? Like, what do you think from him? Like, do you think there's another leap he can take?
Scottie Pippen 2.0, I think is what sure. So no, I love Jaden so much. And like, I think like when that Rudy Gobert trade was going down, I was like, Jaden better not be included in that. Like, I loved him when he actually got consistent playing time and his defense. Like, I was listening to, again, Dane and Jay's talk today, and they were like contemplating Rudy's best defensive player of the year award. And when he, like, which year he was the best of the four that he's won. And I just think that like, you can't really compare his awards this year to his years in Utah because he's playing with guys like Jaden McDaniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker behind him, like guys who he can actually trust, and Anthony Edwards, honestly. But I think Jaden, like, I appreciate that Jaden doesn't always force it offensively, and he's okay with his role defensively because he's playing alongside guys like Ant and Kat and Naz Reid sometimes, and like he just takes his role as a defender and like loves that. So I will back Jaden forever. When he had his slump earlier in the year, people were upset that we had paid this much money for him, which I thought was a good deal. And I'm just so happy with how he's played so far. I think like as long as he keeps his temper under control, like he's amazing. I thought, honestly, sorry, I'm rambling, but I thought Jamal Murray would be the one to get under his skin in this series, and it's been obviously the opposite. So that's been fun to see.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed watching Jamal Murray not succeed. I really enjoyed that.
I have too. He's my least, as a Kentucky fan, I can't stand Jamal Murray. Can't stand the guy. So
do you like Devin Booker more than him?
No, I don't like Devin Booker either. Okay. No. I'm those are my two least favorites. Don't really like Kat either that much, honestly. I'm gonna be honest.
Parker, who's
fair?
Anthony Edwards, I love, but Kat.
He likes him in a Kentucky jersey, but when they go to the NBA, he's like, "Leave me alone."
I love. Who do I like? Is that your guy?
Yeah. I was gonna say. I know you like Anthony Davis, but who's your other like Kentucky guy that you like?
I love De'Aaron Fox. I love Shea. I love Malik Monk. I absolutely. Who else am I thinking of? I'm blanking. What was I about to say besides Fox?
That's your era.
Monk, Fox, Shea. John Wall, love John Wall. Brandon Knight, I love Brandon Knight. Those guys.
Ooh, Brandon Knight.
Tyrese Maxey, that's what I was thinking of. I love Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey. If anyone like on here says that they don't like Tyrese,
they're lying.
Yeah. He's such a he seems like such a good kid too. Like he's such a nice guy. Like he looks like he's always having the time of his life playing basketball. Like he doesn't take it for granted.
Yeah, and he was awesome in that Knicks series. The Knicks were better. That's what sucks. All right, one big Wolves question I have to ask. Mike Conley, obviously. Well, first off, all these dudes are just winning awards this week.
I saw that. Yeah.
Like Mike Conley gets the teammate award, Kat gets the social justice award, Rudy Gobert gets defensive player of the year, Naz Reid gets sixth man of the year. It's pretty nuts. But for people like Sean and I are a little older, and so we've kind of seen Mike Conley like through it all. Like I talked last week about how much I loved his Ohio State team and how fun they were and how they were this close to winning a national title. I was such a big fan of that team with him and Greg Oden. Like I'm forever like if Greg Oden's healthy, he would be an incredible guy. Like I stand by that.
Taking over KD, so like obviously.
Yeah, like that was not like a Sam Bowie Michael Jordan thing. Like that was a legit like conversation.
Right.
But with Conley, I think for a guy who always had great Memphis teams, obviously was a 1 seed before, one playoff series, but to kind of see him kind of go here and kind of have this team that kind of, I know he's not the best player on the team, obviously, but it's almost like they kind of adopt this identity of like that, like hard nose, like inside your shirt defense. Like I'm not gonna let you swing elbows because I'm too close to you. It seems like he's just kind of been like the perfect like vet leader for this team.
For sure. Like I don't want to put D'Angelo Russell down too much because
we do that all the time.
You can. We're cool with it.
I was working for the team when we traded Andrew Wiggins for D'Angelo Russell, and like, don't love my history with Andrew Wiggins, but I loved Andrew Wiggins, and so I just disliked D'Lo from the start and never gave him a fair shot. But
the funny part is I'm with you.
Yeah,
I think I was one of the last remaining, like, Andrew Wiggins in the right spot, superstar. Like, I was on that train till, like, 2021, I think.
So, like, going from D'Angelo Russell and the stuff that came out about how he treated Rudy in the locker room after, like, while he was with the team, but it came out after the trade, he would just, like, berate Rudy and just, like, I don't know, just didn't trust him and didn't like include him in the offense. And then to get Mike Conley, who's teammate of the year and just the most like down to earth guy, who's just like the perfect person that you would want to like be the veteran with Anthony Edwards. And just my mom texted me after game 1, I think, or game 2 of the Sun series. And Mike Conley was like diving into the stands. He like fell into someone sitting front on court side and like just diving for balls. And she was just like, that is amazing. He's what, 36 years old? And like, just for them to see that and for him to just continually say like, this is my shot of like, no one wants this more than me. I think they've all responded to that. And it's just been like, couldn't ask for a better point guard to lead this team.
Forever, he was like the best player to never play in an All-Star game. So he had to relinquish that title a couple years ago.
Yeah.
All right. Before we move on from the Nuggets and Wolves, 2 questions. Cat, obviously, something has changed with him, and it's been nice to see, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where, like, I remember this was years ago. We started this network, and this was like when he had never missed a game at his career point. And so it was like after Bryce Harper signed that huge contract with the Phillies, there was a pod I did where someone on our network was like, if you could give an NBA player $300 million, who would it be? And I said, Cat, because this is like the who's better Cat versus Porzingis era. This is like, he was NBA's Iron Man. He never missed a game. I was like, it's the future center of the league. And he's not that, and that's okay. Like, he has adapted this role where he's like, I'm really good still. I'm the best shooting big maybe ever. And I play next to Rudy Gobert, so I don't have to as much stress on me on defense, especially with Jaden McDaniels next to me. But I think with like, and it's obviously, look, you play with good players, good things happen to you. I understand that logic. But for him to kind of go through everything he's gone through in Minnesota, personally and professionally, I'm like, this has been awesome to see, and I'm super stoked for him.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and have to like every time that I get aggravated with him like complaining to the refs or doing a stupid offensive foul that
There's a lot of that,
is an offensive foul, I have to think about like his history and also how he started with this team and how he was the franchise player for the longest time and how he just stuck it out throughout those years. But he, like, I tweeted this after game 2, I think, of this Denver series, and just like his post-game interview, and he just was like you're just waiting when Cat's in an interview for him to say something weird or just just to cross the line or something. But he was just so like composed, and I just really give him credit for, he always says he's sacrificed with Rudy. And it'll be interesting in game 3 to see how he does offensively when Rudy's back, because he had a great offensive game in game 2 because Rudy wasn't there. So it'll just be interesting to see how he adjusts. But
yeah, I'm excited for that. What are the odds that you guys will take Zach LaVine back in the offseason?
I hope never that we ever do that.
Are you sure?
Why not? He's an all-star.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't
23 in his sleep.
Who wouldn't want that guy?
Yeah.
No, that's really tough. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey,
it is.
They could trade for Wiggins too. Get the whole squad back again.
I just want, if Zach LaVine and Andrew Wiggins are there in like sitting in the stands wearing their jerseys like Friday night or Sunday night against the Nuggets, that would be amazing to me.
It'd be amazing to them too, because it's the closest whoever gets being in the playoffs again.
You'll get to.
Yeah.
I have to ask, how much did it hurt to see Andrew Wiggins actually like win an NBA title?
Be the second best player on the team.
Second best player. Like that
Sean,
feels like it would. Yeah.
I am the president of Wiggins Island, so like that was my night. That was like I debated wearing a shirt that had Wiggins dunking over Luka in the conference finals that year tonight, but I was like, I'm not going to put that on the Wolves.
Okay.
So I was
So you were happy for him then.
yes, but
Okay, that's fine.
Wolves fans were not.
I have
Sure.
I have one more question for you too. So I have always had this weird thing where I love Andrew Wiggins too. I don't know why. When he was in Minnesota, like I was like, he's still averaging 23.
Rookie of the year, you know?
Yeah, like I don't know. Do you remember the year he got traded was 2019, 2020, correct?
Mhm.
Do you remember how well he started off that season
Yes.
before everything went downhill? When he was averaging like 26 a game and they were winning? I was like, I told you Andrew Wiggins is good. He's still only 24. This guy, I was wondering if you remember that stretch because
I was working for the team during that time, and I remember us jokingly being like, to promote people voting for Wiggs and Cat to be all-stars, we were like, if you guys vote for Wiggins and Cat, we'll retire Kevin Garnett's jersey, like something that. So yes, I remember that clearly.
Yeah, he was very good for a stretch. I remember in 2020.
Man, I would love to see Kevin Garnett. That like, can we just do like a big like every like I don't know whose jerseys are retired for them now? Is it anyone in particular? Are there any?
Yeah,
All right, so we just do a big ceremony. We get Garnett, Googs. Googs has got to get his jersey retired.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
We'll throw Terrell Brandon in there just for funsies.
Rubio,
I'm in.
Rubio.
Kevin Love.
Yeah,
Kevin Love.
yeah.
He was a 2020 guy forever.
I mean,
Minnesota, like
if we want to go like way back, we can go to like their very first like decent player, Doug West from the early 90s. He was so we could go back there, but yeah, I think Kevin Love definitely needs his jersey retired. Do they, just out of curiosity, I know they have a statue in front of the arena, but does George Mikan have anything hung in the rafters there?
No. It's just Malik Steely, who was killed in a car crash and then flips on.
I remember watching an NBA game when that was announced, and I liked him. He was in the movie Eddie.
Yeah,
I was a big Eddie fan. So, and he was probably the best actor in that entire movie.
I just realized the two best Timberwolves players like that aren't on a current roster from like the last 15 years both went on to win a title like right after they left. So you guys got to do it now. They got to do it. I forgot Love was he played his best basketball in the Timberwolves. I just forgot for sure.
Yeah,
dude, like
he was a beast.
There were people who like called him next Larry Bird, like when he was in Minnesota, like Fat Larry Bird. Like
I remember he averaged like 27 and 14 or something one year. I was like, Kevin Love was a monster.
Mostly empty stats, but
yeah. At least you're honest. I think like he had the stretch of the longest consecutive 2020 games for like a while there. I don't know if that's been broken or not. Probably.
Who was that team? Petrovic or what was his name? The guy who's like a drug lord now.
Pekovic.
Yeah.
Fan favorite. Andre Kirilenko is here.
Rubio.
I forgot Kirilenko played there.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Corey Brewer. I feel like that sounds right. He was
on the team. He had a 50-point game in Minnesota.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You were there?
Corey Brewer.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Whoa.
I think who else was it? It was on the Cassie when they won the title. I think he played for Minnesota for a little while. He had a 50-point game, I think, with the Wolves too. Was like the last guy off the bench kind of thing.
On the Cavs.
Mo Williams.
Mo Williams, yes.
All-star Mo Williams too.
Yeah, he was awesome. So where's your confidence level in this series now? Because you're up 2-0 and they've played, you go and win 2 games in Denver with not just that fan base, but the altitude, defending champs. I imagine you feel pretty good about the series, but obviously there's still probably, if as a fan of teams, I understand there's probably concern because it's still the defending champs and the MVP and, on paper, maybe the best team in the basketball.
And it's the Timberwolves, not
there's
the historic Timberwolves, but like there's still that little bit of history.
Sure.
We're all just a little bit can't rule Denver out. I feel good. I mean, just if they continue to play the defense that they've played, and like Denver has just looked so discombobulated and just not composed whatsoever. and it seemed like, I don't want to discredit the Wolves whatsoever, but it just seems like something else is going on with that team aside from Murray's injury too. But no, it's just been so fun. Like, I can't count how many times Reggie Miller was like in game 2.
Yeah.
Feels like there's like 6 or 7 Wolves out there just swarming them. So it's just fun to like actually root for a defensive oriented team for once. So
Yeah, I think this is kind of the issue with the Lakers had with them, is that, like, I always thought the Nuggets were susceptible to a team that was more athletic than them. And, like, that team is all athletes. And Mike Conley and Kyle Anderson. But,
yes, fair.
But yeah.
And Cat, honestly.
That's true. That's true. He's such a good shooter, though, that you don't even realize he's not a good athlete. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, yeah, he just does his thing. Like, but yeah, I'm pretty confident, too. I really think that if they win this series, and I don't want to jinx anybody, I think they hang a banner. I think that's just like, I know, I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Last week I was drunk and I said that I thought they were going to beat the Nuggets, and that worked out pretty well. So
what I say drunk last week, I said some bold statement, I forget, but
I think you said LeBron and Kyrie, if they had stayed together, would have been the greatest combo to ever play basketball.
Probably something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that take is bad. All right. Not a fan of that one. But I think they're definitely the favorites, or the Celtics. Them or the Celtics are the favorites, but the Celtics just got beat by 30.
We're gonna talk about that here next.
Cavs. I want to see Timberwolves Knicks in the finals. I'm gonna be honest.
I've said that
would be a bloodbath.
And getting to beat Tibbs in the finals would be.
Oh my God.
I would love to see 86-84, 30 seconds left. Jalen Brunson has 52. Edwards has 48 of the team's 80-something points.
Right.
Disney's just like, you know what, Amazon, you can have this, all right? Like,
I would love to see that bloodbath in the finals. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if the Knicks keep getting all these calls at the end of the games, it's going to happen that way, right?
Oh, last night, the Pacers blew that game, though. They blew that game last night.
I know, they did. I'm just joking. I'm just joking because Rick Carlisle apparently had like 70 different plays he filed to the league to review.
It was 89, I think I saw.
Yeah.
89 plays.
So let's talk about what just happened. Cleveland goes into Boston. At one point at the end of a quarter, we were talking about this and laughing about it before we came on air, had Tristan Thompson and Marcus Morris in 2024 closing a playoff game in a quarter. And won by nearly 30. So 3 things I want to take away from this. 1, Evan Mobley like finally played real basketball in the playoffs. That's nice for all of us who invested way too much into him. 2,
it's you. It's just you.
Yeah,
Kevin Garnett.
I might be left. Yeah, I might be the only one left.
Bill Simmons is with you. I know he's a Evan Mobley, like loves Evan Mobley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I wrote like articles on why he should have been rookie of the year. I was wrong. And like I wrote articles on like this guy's gonna win defensive player of the year one of these days. And like, to be fair, last year he was 3rd in voting. You know, but this year he had that big injury. But tonight he was terrific. He was awesome. Darius Garland, like all of a sudden it's like, guys, I can rebound too. It's fine. That was crazy, but like just a great win for Cleveland. And I'm not just saying that because I'm going to game 4 in Cleveland. I really would have been bummed if it had been 3-0 and I went to that game. I don't think I would have enjoyed myself. But
no matter what, the Cavs have hope going into that game. So it's like,
and it's really arguably, maybe besides Minnesota right now in the Garden, probably the best playoff atmosphere. That arena is insane. Like when their fans are into it, it's really cool to go see.
Agreed. Also, this is the first time they've been in the second round since the 80s, I think, without LeBron on the team.
Yep.
Like in 40 years, I want to say. It's something like that, which is just insane to even think about. But, I mean, yeah, there just hasn't been very, very many good players there. I think they've figured out the dynamic between Garland and Mitchell, where Garland now is just kind of, like last year, Mitchell kind of seemed hesitant to take over the reins as the guy. Like obviously not to the same extent, but kind of like Wade and LeBron in Miami, like that first year, like where it seemed like they were kind of back and forth. But Garland seems like he's more, you know, allowed to be a second fiddle. Like he's okay, comfortable with that. And I think that's really helped him out a lot because Mitchell's over here scoring 30 plus every single night. And he's looked awesome.
Yeah. It's just been like a nice dynamic between them. It's the weird dudes that like I knew were good, but have been really good for them that have really shocked me. Like, did you guys know Max Strus could dunk? When did this become a thing?
Did you also? Did you know like Max Strus is he's a damn good player.
Killer, dude.
Like,
he's a killer.
Yeah.
Like I knew he was solid, but like he's good.
Knew
So-
that last
He is.
year, but he hadn't shown it yet until
Yeah.
but
So when he was at DePaul, obviously they're in the Big East, so I saw them play Xavier a lot. And you were like, would see him play, and you're like, okay, he's a good college shooter. Like it was kind of like, I admit, completely stereotypical at the time. We're like, oh yeah, he's a good college kid. Like he'll coach a college shooter. He might get a shot somewhere. Like being a guy off the bench. That place was Chicago, and they had him on a 2-way, and decided not to renew the 2-way and let him go. Awesome. Seems like be a common trend. Obviously, then he goes to Miami and becomes like awesome. And then like, yeah, this series, I mean, this playoff. So game 7, he was like their best. He was their second best player behind Mitchell. Like they were like Garland was rough, Mobley was rough, Allen was obviously out. Once again, they're relying on Marcus Morris in game 7, and
he started, didn't he?
They're down 20, and then
Yeah.
Max Strus and Donovan Mitchell just like reel them back in. And Karis LeVert's been really good too, but it's just been like kind of nuts how like. I thought for sure this would be a thing. And they're down Jared Allen, but I thought it'd be like, they're going to beat guys with their 2 bigs and Mitchell and just kind of running running dribble drives and dives to the rim. And they're doing none of that. And they just smoked the Celtics with Tatum and Brown on the floor.
Is Mitchell officially a Cav next year?
No.
I was gonna
Still no? I
Nah.
feel like he's so good though. Like get rid of Garland.
I agree.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like he can get rid of Garland at this point. Garland hasn't looked good in months.
I think they'll try to keep him because they think they can build off of him and Mobley.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like it would probably have to take a finals win.
Yeah, I still don't think Donovan Mitchell's good enough to be the best player on a title team.
I agree. Yeah.
But he could take a team to like the conference finals for sure. But like a title, I don't think so. I think he's a number 2 on a title team.
Yeah, I agree. Like, so like these teams are apparently lining up to like offer the Hawks a deal for Trae Young this offseason. And I would much rather have Donovan Mitchell.
Way rather.
Yeah.
That's
That's
not Lakers.
I don't want him on the Lakers. I'm gonna be honest. I'd
No.
rather them sign D'Lo, like re-sign D'Lo, than bring Trae Young in. I'm gonna be honest, really, truthfully. Much
Yeah.
cheaper, not that much worse of a player, truthfully. Like seriously, not that much worse.
And apparently Hawks fans might revolt if that deal happens.
Yeah. D'Lo, DeJounte Murray, that's a title contender right there.
Gross.
With Onyeka Okongwu and
Would Reeves have to be in the trade to get Trae Young?
probably.
Reeves is so good. I don't want to get rid of Reeves. I love Reeves. I still think he's
Reeves-
getting better too. Like I still think he's not close to where he's gonna be.
He's one of those guys that just makes every team he's on better. You put him in Minnesota
100%.
and he's like
He's
second team all defense. Like,
Yeah, he would be a defensive stud because he tries. He tries his
Yeah.
heart out. He's just not that talented defensively. But in Minnesota, with like the help defense they have, if he gets beat a little bit, 100%.
Yeah, he would be awesome there. I mean, Cleveland, he'd be tremendous. He's just one of those dudes, right? Like, and like everyone likes him. He's the guy you like to have on your team. What other stereotype can I throw out here now? Oh my God. Like,
He's on the best contract in the entire NBA. Truthfully,
Yeah.
I think so. $14 million a year is insane.
Nas Reed,
that's
What's
true.
he on? What's he on?
11 million a year, I think.
Yeah, actually, that's true. That's probably a better contract. But it's close. But those are both really
Man of the year.
steals.
Oh.
Yeah, that is true. Still, I think Malik Monk should have won it. I'm not gonna lie, but Nas Reed is good.
Oh.
Malik Monk's led the points and assists off the bench. I don't know.
Yeah, but is his team in the playoffs?
Well, they looked horrible. They would have beat the Pelicans if he played. I'm sorry, they would have beat the Pelicans if he. Here comes the Kentucky bias. All right.
I mean,
Yep, there it is.
I mean, the Pelicans didn't have Zion, so I don't know. Like the excuses aren't looking pretty flashy there, buddy.
Yeah. Still, you're a Malik Monk hater now, Tim. All right.
Never. No, I love Malik Monk. I kind of hope the Lakers would have kept him. Honestly, I just knew they couldn't afford him after that year.
Yeah, they couldn't afford him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's I was really happy he went to the Bulls, and then how everything's kind of shook out with the Bulls. I was like, feel terrible for him because he still is like so good defensively, and that franchise just doesn't care about winning. So
I don't want to take over the show, but
please
what franchise would you like as a Timberwolves fan? And I know my history, but like, what franchise do you feel less excited about than the Bulls? Like, we got the Wizards.
Ooh.
I think the only answer is the Wizards, truthfully.
Yeah.
I'm more excited about the Pistons. I mean, they still have LaMelo Ball.
Hornets.
Brandon Miller. I love Brandon Miller. So, yeah, I'd rather be a Hornets fan.
Yeah, but still, though. When was the last time they made the playoffs?
Yeah.
Kemba Walker.
I mean,
Kemba Walker.
Truthfully, Sean, though, in the last 10 years, I think I saw the Bulls have only made the playoffs more times than, like, the Pistons, the Hornets, and, like, there's one other team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not.
Which is just, I think people forget about, because they just try and go 38-44 and be in the 10th spot with a week to go with a shot to get in. Like
they have become the Hawks of the late 2000s. They were like, you know what? We'll be the 8th seed. Maybe next year we'll be better, and maybe we'll get the 5 seed.
Even though the Hawks are literally the Bulls too, they're the same team. They got 2 players, but
I know, but this is what I'm saying, though. Before, I used to make fun of the Hawks for that exact same thing, and now my favorite
now we're living through it,
has become the Hawks. But here's the thing. The Hawks made it to the conference finals with that dumb team that was an 8 seed for the conference finals.
Yeah.
That one year, so it's like, but this isn't going to happen with Chicago. They're not going to just magically wake up next season and be good with the team.
Lonzo didn't get hurt. They won the title.
We got the wrong Teague brother. Okay,
Parker, that hurts. That hurts, Parker.
I see Bulls fans on like social media that's still like I see like TikToks about like
he's never playing again. Never playing again.
I love Lonzo.
Lonzo's a great player, but like they're acting like Lonzo was LeBron on the 2021 Bulls.
Yeah,
I
mean, it was fun.
He had what did he play? What did he play? 11 games, and they were great.
Well, do you think they would have held? It was like 30 something.
Yeah, they were the 1 seed like in January.
Do you think they would have held on to the 1 seed the whole year?
No. But
I think they fell to like 3 or 4.
I think they would have had home court advantage.
Yeah,
like I definitely think because DeMar was so good that year, and Levine was like shockingly good that year. Like not as good, but like they figured something out.
He wasn't as good as DeMar, but yeah, he was good.
Yeah. Which was really funny because the idea was to build around Zach LaVine, which, as Katie can tell you, like you don't do that.
Do not do that.
Yeah. But I think with them too, it's just kind of I don't know. I want to have fun tonight, and like
sorry.
That's why Sean's a Magic fan.
That's right.
Right.
The future looks bright, baby.
If they get guards.
They will. There's a guy in Chicago named Zach LaVine.
You don't want that.
Nah, Clay is perfect for them. I'm not gonna lie. Clay is perfect.
I don't like them overpaying Clay. I don't like it. He's too old, man.
Just give him like a year, 1 or 2 year contract because they don't have to pay their young guys yet.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. But if he comes in and wants $30 million for a season, like he's not worth it. He's not worth it. No one's gonna light a fire under Clay's ass, and he's just gonna be like the guy. You know what I mean?
But they just can't shoot whatsoever.
They need
Paolo or bust.
Yeah,
he's so good.
Maybe DeMar DeRozan would be great down there. I don't know.
He would be.
But the Bulls are going to pay him like $40 million next season, and he'd be stupid to turn that down, But
I actually watched a lot of that series, and like I realized I don't watch enough Magic in the regular season because Paolo's so damn good.
Dude, he's so good.
Like seriously,
so good.
They were like a league pass team this year.
They were like a great league pass team. They had fantastic jerseys, and like the Amway Center had people there instead of at the parks. Like that was nice.
Franz was a little bit of a disappointment, but Jalen Suggs, I love. He's a Minnesota boy, so
Sure,
I love Jalen Suggs, but yeah.
But he also went to Gonzaga, so we just like we'll remove that portion from his resume.
Yeah,
He's likable. Yeah. I think if I were Orlando, and look, Simmons said this on his pod last week, and I was like kind of thinking, I was like, you're crazy. And I thought more and more about it, and it won't happen, but it made a lot of sense. He's like, if I'm Paul George, I probably think more about wanting to play for Orlando than I do Philly, because he's like, I just don't fly for 5 years who could never be on the floor, and I'm gonna go play with Embiid now. He's like, I know Paolo's gonna play. Like, he's like, I know that like I can be a missing piece there, and they could be really good. And
he'd be great there.
You could be the number 2 on the Magic. He's better than Franz still, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Paolo's probably kind of close, but like you obviously your number one option's the 21-year-old, not the 34-year-old.
Right.
Regardless of circumstance, he's definitely going to be the number 1 guy some nights, though.
Like,
He's gonna,
but he has the personality to like take the back seat too and be okay with that.
Which is also the biggest problem with Paul George, because he's a number 1 talent, no doubt about it. He should be a top 10 player in the league most of his career, but his personality seems like he's a number 2, which has always been the problem with Paul George.
Sounds like Sydney is saying that the Cavs should go get Paul George, and I just don't know what that would look like. Like, I don't think I would give the Clippers Evan Mobley for Paul George.
Yeah, they don't have cap space either, so it would have to be a sign and trade.
Yeah, because it's going to cost you Mobley. It's going to cost you like Garland, probably like LeVert and Niang.
And this is going to be another Paul George trade that ended up better for the other team. So
yeah, right.
I would not gamble my future for Paul George at this point.
No, and I love Paul George.
Yeah,
me would not. Like, I totally agree.
Quick question: what do the Clippers do?
It was Shea. Or
no, like what do they do now is what I'm saying. Like, what do you do? I think they might be top 5 worst franchises to have right now. Like, I would not want to be in charge of
Phoenix with Beal too. Like
and they just fired another coach.
Phoenix at least has Devin Booker though, who's still a young superstar. Like the Clippers are all old. like at least Booker's like 26, 27 still.
Yeah,
like,
Terrence Mann's like their young player.
Yeah, who's like 27, 28. He's shockingly older than you realize.
I don't know. That's really sad though, because like I grew up loving like James Harden on the Thunder.
Sure,
and like Kawhi Leonard on the Spurs and Paul George with the Pacers, and then and Russell Westbrook with the Thunder too. And now to see them all just like not being who they were before is kind of sad, but
yeah, I think like when people like, I've heard people say like it's like the 04 Lakers, and I'm like, you guys realize the 04 Lakers went to the finals, right?
Yeah.
like
they're more like the 2022 Lakers.
Yeah.
Like Kawhi is still the same player. It's just he can't stay on the floor. Like he's still a top 10 player when he plays.
Yeah,
I think he just doesn't really care to play basketball anymore. I think he's just kind of like, because there's nights when he's healthy and he's like, you guys go ahead. I'll catch up later.
It's just tough. It's hard to watch. Like he's going to have the weirdest basketball reference page of all time when we're like he's going to have like 5 all-star games, but this guy's considered like a top 40 player ever. Like what? He's only going to have like 15,000 points.
Derrick Rose is going to have a weird one too.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be this like, and it kind of bums me out, but
I was at his 50-point game at Target Center.
Awesome.
I forever love that game.
Nice.
Because they wore the black throwback jerseys.
Yes.
The Garnett era black throwback jerseys.
And Jimmy did his general soreness and sat out that game. So
that's right. I forgot, because in the presser, Butler like runs into the presser to say something, and you could tell the whole media's like, yeah, okay, buddy.
Yeah, as a Timberwolves fan, you're not probably very fond of Jimmy Butler, are you?
No, but I also like respect his story and how he got into the league, and also like watching him last year take down the Bucks.
Yeah, last year was awesome.
Yeah. So
hate that guy in the chat. Hate
the
that
Pat
guy.
Riley stuff though this week.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we haven't talked about that. Yeah. No, yeah, that stuff's funny. And then like, I mean, it's just like Jimmy said, what did he say? Like, oh, if I was playing, we beat the Celtics in 5 or whatever they beat Cancun. Which truthfully, I think they probably win a couple games if he plays. I think they would have cut it to 6 at least. But
there's a lot of discussions he won't be on the Heat next year.
I think he'll be back on the Heat.
I do too.
Truthfully, I think he'll be back on the Heat.
I don't know what would be a better place for him.
It's too good of a fit, like in terms of
like unless that's done.
Right.
But they need a third star. Like they need a number 1 option at this. Like Jimmy Butler's in his mid-30s now. Like, can he be the best player on a title team? I think you've tried that enough, and it's like it caps out at the finals, not winning it.
So what's Dame Lillard's what's his contract status?
I think Milwaukee probably wants to get off it.
Yeah, I think he gets paid about $68 million when he's like 39.
I mean, and it seems like, I don't know, that's a weird franchise too. I love the Bucks, and I was so sad when Bud got fired and then
get a new job.
Died recently, close to that, and I don't know. I love Chris Middleton too, so.
Yeah, it sounds like Bud's going to be coaching the Suns, so he'll be fired. Well, this time next year, we'll be having the same conversation.
Yeah. And LeBron and his coach are going to podcast together in the locker room after the game. Is what it sounds like. You see him defending him on Twitter yesterday? Yeah, it's looking like, which honestly I'm all for entertainment purposes. Like, I think that's going to be so funny if they make him the coach.
I don't think it matters who coaches that team.
Neither do I.
Yeah, it's just kind of like one of those things. All right, let's touch on the other couple series real quick. We are recording right now, so if you listen to this tomorrow, so we probably won't be able to give a whole lot of update on OKC and Dallas just because they're playing as we're recording. Indiana, New York has been, controversy aside, really fun. I know the Knicks are up 2-0, but the games have been good. And I think we kind of expected these guys to kind of be fights. And I think the Knicks fans I know are expecting Indiana is going to win tomorrow for game 3. Just because it's kind of how the series has gone. But this has been a conversation we've had 100 times. Obviously, it's just about the whole, if Halliburton were healthy and he wasn't one-legged, what does the series look like? I still think the Knicks would probably be, I think it could definitely have been 1-1. I don't know if I would say for sure it'd be 1-1, but also, I wonder about if let me backtrack. If you're Indiana, I think we've said this before. You obviously want to win. I mean, you're there for a reason. I don't feel like you have to win. I feel like what you're building, you have something where oh, hey, we went to the playoffs. We won a series.
We beat the Bucks.
We beat the Bucks.
Our best player's 23. The future of our franchise is 23. Ben Mathurin isn't even playing. The second best young guy on that team. He's not even playing.
You mean not Oscar Tshiebwe? He's not the second best young guy on the team?
No.
Yeah, you're right. He's not young.
No. I'm not a 4th-year player Kentucky fan. I like the freshmen. Anyways. I think when it comes to the Knicks, it's shocking how good Josh Hart is. Josh Hart is the number 2 option on a team that can make the finals. Who the hell thought they were saying that? He's the number 2 offensive option, I'd say. Over maybe DiVincenzo, but Hart, Hart's averaging damn near 20 points a game in the playoffs. It's absurd. It's absurd.
Do you guys see him the fans were saying F you, Reggie, and then Josh Hart pulls it, goes up and says, I think they're saying F you to in Reggie's microphone.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's
they're hard
incredible.
not to root for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hunter says here, is it a hot take to say the Knicks are better without Julius? I think if they play the Celtics the next round, they will for sure wish they had Julius.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tim. I think when they're playing lesser competition, it makes it easier to win games and stuff. But I think when you go up against top tier talent, you can't just have one elite scorer, which is what they have. OG Anunoby is not or Josh Hart's not a number 2 option on a championship team. I think I might be wrong though. If they do go, because I'm not counting it out. They look like they've been winning games. They're going to be in the conference finals, so I'm not counting it out.
I wonder for them because now Mitchell Robinson looks like he's gonna be out for a little while too.
And OG.
And OG's out tomorrow.
OG's out. Yep.
Brunson's questionable, but like he's gonna play. There's no way he doesn't play tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. God, if you're the Cavs and you can somehow pull this series off, you walk right to the finals at that point because your bigs will just fill the whole like paint up because all the guys they're down.
Tim, you think the Cavs beat the Knicks?
Just because you turned your hat around a couple of minutes ago doesn't mean it's gonna will something into existence. All right.
I still think there's probably like an 85% chance it's Celtics in 5, but like.
Yeah, I would say it's about 95%. Honestly.
Yeah. Probably.
They're not gonna let what happened tonight happen again.
Could you imagine like if the Celtics got Porzingis back and they're playing the Knicks in the conference finals? He's got to go play like at least 3 in the Garden.
That'd be such a good story.
Katie's journalist mind is working here.
Is he the best like 6 foot and under guard? Like, is this the best run we've seen since Iverson?
Brunson?
Yeah.
It's up there.
I mean, Robinson.
Hey, that's my guy.
Curry's like 6'3". Like Brunson's 6 foot tall. Like this guy his footwork is unbelievable. His footwork is unbelievable.
He's 6 foot with shoes on. All right, like.
Yeah, he's not 6 foot. I agree. Yeah, he's probably closer to Isaiah Thomas range.
I will say, like, if I could like draft like of all the players I've covered college games of, like he would probably be in my top 3.
He still does the Villanova freaking booty ball in the NBA. Like when he just dribbles it up the floor and just posts up somebody taller than him, but he's so strong. It works. Like he's strong.
Dude, he's awesome. I love that. Like, what was it? How like people in Philly were like Sixer fans were pissed off that like Villanova was tweeting about Brunson and Hart and DiVincenzo, and it's like, and he's like, there's like people are like, you guys aren't even at Philadelphia school, and he's like, you guys didn't say that when we won 2 national championships.
Fair.
Literally.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think the Knicks would probably just like I would love to see the Pacers win that series. It's just they're not there yet. And that's okay. I think that
they'll get there.
They can definitely build off of this. And they're never down long. They're never bad long. Halliburton has an off season to get healthy. Maybe that changes things for next year.
He was averaging like 27 and 13 the first 3 months or 2 months.
Dude, I had him in fantasy basketball, and like I won every week because of him. I had him and LeBron. Like
first team All NBA the first 30 games. And then he's probably not going to make an All NBA team at this point.
Yeah, and Ben Shepherd is going to be good. I'm still standing by it. I still really like him. Yeah.
I mean, McConnell is just weirdly very good. Like, very good. And he plays nothing like you would expect from his look. A 6 foot white guy who can't shoot threes, but damn, he can get to the basket. Like, what? Like, literally finishes over bigs with not much athleticism.
My kind of guy. We're about the same person, you know?
He's scrappy.
Yeah.
Scrappy's the word for McConnell.
My boyfriend, who's a like bigger hockey fan than basketball fan, he's just like, we were watching the game last night and he's like, who is that guy? Like
Sean Miller was his coach, guys, you know? You learn Sean Miller ways. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think is there anything else we need to touch on before we get out of here? Anything else we missed?
I'm trying to think. We didn't talk about. Did we talk about the Thunder or what's the other West series? Oh, we did. Never mind. I'm tripping.
Thunder
we were talking about the Timberwolves series to begin.
Yeah, Luka looks like gassed in game 1. He does,
but game 2 he looks awesome. He's got 15 points in the first quarter, so that was not long. The Lucas washed was not a long take that lasted long. He's got 15 in the first quarter.
Sorry, I just want to ask you guys how you feel about Kyrie.
You know what? I was like really anti-Kyrie for a long time. I've had so much fun watching him play basketball when he's just not being a psychopath and not just saying insane things on the internet, like and sharing controversial documentaries. Like when he's just like playing basketball, he's great.
Great. And the other thing is like, I think the Mavs don't run enough stuff through Kyrie at all. Like they don't give him the ball enough. It makes no sense. Like the other night he had 6 shot attempts entering the fourth quarter. And it's like, how are you like? It's like they're letting Luka cook in the first half, and then Kyrie doesn't even shoot the ball until the third or fourth quarter, which is just like it's gonna catch up to him eventually. Like they got to get him going early if they want to win a title or something.
That'd be a fun Jimmy Butler team if he did leave.
Something, yeah.
Jimmy would be.
Also, I'm not overreacting to game 1. I don't think that series is over by any means. Like I think that series might go 7. Like I know game 1 was ugly, but I just think the Mavericks just honestly got punched in the mouth, weren't ready for game 1. They came out in game 2 right now. They're up 8 in the first quarter, so they look a lot better, I'm assuming.
I love the Mavericks now because they eliminated the Clippers. So like we're cool now. Like we're tight. Like we get along.
You're cool.
Yeah. Give him the dap next time I see him.
I want to ask this. Do you guys think Luka do you think he can be the best player on a title team? Like the way he plays basketball right now. Like not talent-wise, but like the way they play.
I think
he can win a title like that.
He misses too many games.
Yeah, I'm too biased. Like I obviously respect him, but like just watching his interactions with the officials is just like
it's so annoying.
Very cringe. Yeah.
Yeah.
He argues every single call.
Yeah. Like LeBron at least gives a couple
argues
off,
a lot. He at least lets like sometimes he's like this. Luka never never. It's insane. He argues every single call.
Yeah. He's kind of the worst at that. But he's so good at basketball.
Hart's averaging 46.2 minutes per game.
I think he can be the best player on a title team, but they need the Mavericks have been like such a weird constructed organization over the last couple of years, and obviously Kyrie is, he's a good fit, but he's like you said, I think they need to be running more stuff for, and I don't like that team. Like they just there's nothing about them that excites me. Like they're just ho hum. They're just ho hum.
Agreed.
Does that make sense?
They don't have the bench they used to have, or like the role players that they used to have.
Yeah. And I mean, you let Brunson just leave.
Yeah.
And like, okay.
Can we give our picks, I guess, before we get out of here, Tim?
Sure.
Like title picks?
Yeah. All right. I'll tell you what, Katie, first. You are a guest. You get to, if you would like to go first, you can go first.
Don't be biased. I'm
not gonna hate if you can't say. I'm not gonna hate if you're biased because your teams. They're probably the second favorites right now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they are the second favorites right now.
After Boston.
Yeah, Boston's the favorites.
Boston doesn't scare me as much as Denver, even when we're up 2-0, and OKC, honestly.
I get it. Tim have felt the pain. No lead is big enough. If the game's close, Jamal Murray's going to hit a game winner in your face twice.
Denver came back from 3-1, and we'll see. But I'm going to say finals. That we're just doing finals.
The matchup, I guess. So we're going to give who's like making it.
I'm going to say, I really want to say Wolves Knicks, but I think that's mostly just my hope. And I think the Knicks are going to be dealing with injuries before then. So I'll say Wolves Celtics. And if we're doing games too, I'll say Wolves in 6.
Love it.
Ooh.
You'll never see me again because I'll just be.
All right. So this is tough because like it's 2-0 in that series right now, but I'm not like convinced the Nuggets are dead yet. Like I'm just not. It's hard to.
No one should think that.
I'm giving the Wolves like a 75% chance to win the series. Like I still obviously think they are, but like if they win Game 3, it's back to this is a series, like 100%.
Right.
Like but it's like Game 3 is so crucial because. You win it, you pretty much end the series. You lose it, it's like, oh shit. like it's back to right damn near where we started. So I'm gonna go Timberwolves in the finals because I do think they'll win this series, and I don't think that OKC or the Mavs would beat the Timberwolves, truthfully.
I agree.
I think OKC would be a long series. Same with the Mavs. Like I think both would be 6 or 7 games, but I think the Timberwolves would win. And then I'm going to go to Celtics, but I'm going to take the Celtics winning the title and finally getting a ring with that roster that's been together for 8 years now or something. Tatum and Brown.
Well, Parker just got fired.
Disconnect.
I'm just telling you. I wouldn't be shocked, though, if the Knicks make the finals. I wouldn't be that, super shocked. I mean, Miami beat the Celtics last year.
Yeah,
So,
because they're bums.
They just don't have that playoff edge. I don't know.
Jason Tatum scares me. He disappears sometimes, but I just it's hard to bet against them because they're so talented. Like when they're on, nobody is beating them when they're hitting their shots. Like it's just domination. But
and they have Drew Holiday.
Then they have games like last night or tonight where it's like, oh, this team could lose to the Heat in the like if Jimmy Butler was playing, might have lost to Heat in the first round. So it's like I don't know.
Yeah. Sean, you want to go? You want me to go?
I'll go. I'm also going to go Wolves Celtics. Just for fun, I'm going to say Wolves in 7.
That would be in Boston too.
Let's go. It doesn't matter. They did it in Denver. Twice. And the altitude.
Yeah.
Hey. Game 1 and 2 aren't a game 7 though, Sean. Come on. That's not a game 7 yet.
You know what?
Minnesota switched it. They got home court advantage now. So
who would Kevin Garnett be rooting for in that game?
Yeah, Kevin Garnett would have to be courtside at that game.
Like the split jersey?
Split jersey. I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Just says 25, and you're like,
root for the Timberwolves. Root for the Timberwolves. The freaking Celtics got 18 or 17 or 18 of them.
Yeah, I agree.
And they got to hang his jersey before we did, so.
Yeah, what is that crap?
What is that crap? I think of Kevin Garnett as a Timberwolf.
Yes.
Yeah, the 1 seed Timberwolves, the ones that lost to the Big Four Lakers, was such a great team, and I will forever love them. So, Karl Malone just had the series of his life. That's that series, and then was awful and got hurt in the finals. So, even though I loathe Karl Malone with deep passion for many reasons. All right, it's my turn. All right. I'm going to say Wolves Knicks because everyone else said Wolves Celtics. So I just think that I'm going to go the Jalen Brunson route, and I think that he is the dude, and I think he has the capability to be really special, and you saw that, and his college career was all him being special. And obviously you get the Tibbs coaching against his old team in the finals thing. So that'd obviously be fun. I'm sure the Knicks will win a game by 30 in that series where he'll be screaming his lungs out still. But I think the Wolves would beat the Knicks in 5.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yep. I like it.
So Parker, my first, after the Wolves win the championship, my first tweet is going to be at you for saying that they would not win it. So.
Awesome.
Please.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Katie, what would your Wolves championship tattoo? Would it be the logo with the Larry O'Brien, as a sleeve? Is that what we're talking here?
Would it be the vintage logo or the mid 2000s logo?
Yeah.
I think so. You guys after this have to look up Nikola Pekovic's sleeve tattoo.
Oh yeah,
it's a knight, a weird thing. That for sure. Just on my entire back, I think, or just
I love it.
Wolves back on your back would be pretty sweet too. But
Katie, can I tell you an amazing Sean story here? You will never believe this. Sean, I'm sorry I have to tell the story instead of you telling it because it's funnier when I tell it because I'm funnier. So Sean has never had a Big Mac. And he said the only way he'll ever have a Big Mac is if the Chicago Bulls win an NBA championship. So Sean's never going to have a Big Mac in his life.
I haven't had one either, Sean, so we can...
Hold on!
What?
Yeah. There were 2 of you?
Yeah.
You guys never ate a Big Mac?
No. I've also never had a Twinkie.
Same.
Never had a Twinkie?
Never had a Twinkie. No, I'm not
I used to love Twinkies when I was a little kid. I used to love them.
No.
Big Mac, though, I'm not going to lie. I never had a Big Mac till I was 16.
What is wrong with you people? Your
but
parents
now
obviously cared about your diets.
I went to
because I had a
McDonald's
shit ton of double quarter pounders. I just never got Big Macs because I was more plain when I was younger. Didn't like stuff on it. Really.
I went a couple days ago and I just get the plain, like, the same hamburgers that came with the Happy Meal. I'm still buying those at age 40. So those are it. I'm like, I get 2 of them now, though. I'm like, 2 extra pickle. Let's go.
Sean, what if someone DoorDash to your house a Big Mac? Would you throw it out?
Well, here's the thing. If I got a Big Mac, I would not get the Big Mac sauce because I do not like
wrong
any sort
answer.
of dressing.
Yeah, Big Mac sauce is so good.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't like
it's
anything
just
with vinegar in
Thousand
it, guys.
Island, but like
Yeah. I don't like salads, and I don't like salad dressings. So like it's not gonna happen. If I get it, it's gonna be a Big Mac that's gonna be plain, pretty much. So
there's just no point in getting a Big Mac at that point.
It's a different burger than the one that I'm getting there, Parker. Okay, it's a bigger burger, but the Chicago Bulls have to win a title to get that, and it's just not going to happen.
No, you
gotta just settle for like getting off of Zach LaVine's contract.
No.
Yeah, if they trade LaVine, you gotta eat a Big Mac.
Yeah.
And he's gotta eat a Caesar salad. Caesar salad.
I will say, like, for like what he's
I
saying
have Caesar
is like,
salad for dinner, Sean.
Sean and I get chicken wings together all the time. He never gets ranch. Never gets like a dipping sauce.
I don't eat white condiments at all.
No, one of my best friends is
None.
like that too. He refuses to eat white condiments. So mayo, ranch, all that stuff.
Yeah,
I've heard that one before.
And Tim doesn't like ketchup.
Facts.
I love
That's
ketchup.
overrated.
Which is
I
weird.
eat everything though.
But...
I eat everything, to be honest.
Oh, this is going off course.
Yeah. Well, Katie, before like this is insane, I just want to say, of course, thanks for coming to hang out again.
Yes,
hopefully you would want to come back after this. I'm sure not the ideal NBA podcast like everyone else, obviously, but
no, this is so fun. And thank you for letting me ramble. And also, if we lose game 3, though, I'm going to blame it on us all jinxing.
That's fair.
Sure.
Yeah,
Not
we
me.
deserve that.
But Wolves in 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go Wolves. Before we get out of here, for those which if you're in the Wolves fan base community, I'm sure you know about Katie, but if you don't and want to follow Katie and her conversations, she's a great Twitter follow. Where can the world follow you?
@by Katie Davidson, even though I don't have any bylines anymore. So
is that like the best feeling ever?
It's nice to like make a livable wage, but it's not. I miss writing too. So
yeah, I hear you. Well, this is fun. This was another edition of NBA Happy Hour. Next week, I promise to drink something other than White Claw. I just got to restock the shelf.
Once the Cavs are up.
Yeah. I'll bring stuff. I'll bring like Great Lakes from Cleveland when I like them up there on next week. But on behalf of Sean and Parker, but of course, check out everything we have going on here at the Riverfront, whether it's Welcome to the Jungle, Late Night Reds, Riverfront Red Show, which will also be up the same day we are putting this show up. You name it, we have it covered. And on Monday here on this channel, I have a really awesome interview me and Jack did with Travis Steele, the head coach of Miami, Ohio. So that's a really fun conversation as well you want to check out. But on behalf of everyone here, this is Tim Daniel. Take it easy, everybody.
See you guys.